Hi everyone, I'm Hannah. And the question I'm going to ask you today might annoy a lot of you. Hell, it may make some of you mad or scared, but I'm going to ask it anyways. So, here we go. What do you want to be when you grow up? I think I've been asked this question more than 100 million times. Hannah, what do you want to be when you grow up? By aunties, uncles, my parents, grandparents, teachers, and even myself. Like, what do I want to be when I grow up? Every time I hear this terrible question, I feel this immense pressure. Why, you may ask? Well, it's because I don't really have an answer. And even if I did, it might not be the right one. Now, if you already know what you want to be, that is great. But for me and 95% of Hong Kong high schoolers, we're in a bit of a limbo. You see, there are so many things to think about. It feels like a never-ending cycle of questions and scenarios running through my head. Like, I want a respected job, stable, be this badass independent woman who don't need no man. But at the same time, there were a lot of people putting their own opinions on my decision. And somehow in Hong Kong society, there seem to be acceptable answers and not so acceptable answers. Like being a lawyer. Good. Dentist, oh my gosh, even better. Doctor, okay now, you have hit the jackpot. But to be an artist, musician, journalist, they'll say, huh? Why? You want to be poor? But even worse, I felt like I was being squeezed into this tiny box to become just this one thing. Somehow, suddenly, at the end of high school, it didn't matter who I was or what I loved. None of that mattered anymore because I had to be just this one thing. But why? It was not so long ago that I realized that this pressure to become just that one thing was not only a ridiculous one, but maybe even the wrong question. The solution to this terrible question is found in the disappearance of it. And no, you don't have to be just one thing, but you're allowed to have many things and have many skills and interests. Now, my strategy is to combine these skills together to become unique. And it's not about becoming someone, but it's about becoming you. And this is called the capability-based view, and it is a wonderful strategy, so let me explain. There is massive literature on corporate strategies, basically investigating on how firms can become more successful. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is I'll apply this exact understanding to help students, basically you and I, to become more successful. So, according to this understanding, the key is to have a strategy where you're different from everyone else. So, how do we be different? Firstly, the key is to combine different kinds of skills together in a unique way. Shockingly, this is quite different or the very opposite career advice you've been given to become just that one thing. If you just study one thing like everyone else, how are you really becoming unique? Well, I'm sorry to say, but you are not. Thus, it's not a very good strategy, or maybe even the very absence of one. But instead, what I propose we should do is to basically combine a skill that's seemingly very ordinary, like in education, with various other skill sets. This way, by the end of the day, no one will have the same combinations of skills, except for you. Why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary, right? Now, second, we need to think about core competencies. So, what are our core competencies? These concern skills that can be used in different areas. with a wide variation of application. Thus, think about developing skills that can be used in different markets. And lastly, and this is probably the hardest to plan of all, but these combinations of skills need to be valuable to you and to other people. Something that makes you wake up in the morning with burning passion and others can recognize as valuable as well. What I propose as a starting point is to think about what you enjoy in life and what comes naturally to you. We want to be building an understanding of what you're truly good at and what you love. So, let me explain this idea with a very simple example. Has anybody heard of Martti Ahtisaari from Finland? No, that's okay. So one of Martti's early ambitions in life was to become a primary school teacher. Now hold up. You may be thinking, okay, Hannah, how does this translate to a great strategy? Well, primary school teachers are great communicators of ideas as they learn the required skills to teach others. Now this is not a small thing. This skill can be applied to various other fields. Thus, it can be regarded as a core competency. Now, as a second core competency, Martti improved his communication skills by studying different languages, which he combined his other core competency of teaching. This man was not only fluent in Finnish and English, but this man was also fluent in French, German, and Swedish. Now, next, Martti made a key step in becoming unique by acquiring new skills in global internationalization, management, and foreign policy. Martti started taking up new roles of leadership, such as moving to Pakistan and leading the Swedish-Pakistani Institute of Physical Education, joining and leading the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, being Finland's ambassador to Tanzania, and being the UN Deputy Secretary General. And this man ultimately in 1994 became the president of Finland and in 2008 won the Nobel Peace Prize for his great efforts in resolving international conflicts. Not bad of an outcome for a primary school teacher, if I may say so myself. Martti Ahtisaari is a great example of using the capability-based view and the idea of core competency to build on his skills to become more unique. He did not just try to become one thing, like a primary school teacher, and he didn't sacrifice any of his interests, but instead he combined various skill sets and interests together, allowing him to become more unique every step of the way. From a local primary school teacher to becoming a leader of an institute in Pakistan, to becoming an ambassador, and then became the president, who also won a Nobel Peace Prize. My God. So, what about my strategy? Clearly, I'm not the president of anything, or my Nobel Peace Prize winner. My gosh, I wish. But I can still learn to apply these exact same principles just like this guy here, Martti. So, my passion in life is film. I like filmmaking. And since I was 15 years old, I have spent hours and hours editing and filming videos. Thus, it is my core competency, and I really do enjoy it. But in addition, from an early age, I have loved performing, singing and dancing, and thus it gave me the confidence to become a performer. And this, as a result, naturally came that I would film and edit videos about my life. And as a result, I became a YouTuber. And I am very, very grateful for having 218,000 subscribers today. But why stop here? I need to learn more. I need more skills. Now I'm currently a student studying journalism to improve on my communication skills. Hello. And also, I'm taking various business courses as I believe being an entrepreneur is my next step in my journey. So, let me ask you the question one more time. What do you want to be when you grow up? What is your answer this time? And why not everything? Thank you.